Half it like him. And hello, it's Vo, and welcome back to our playthrough of Turbine City. We made it to Capital City last time, to 38,000 population. We've unlocked a few things that we're gonna need later on in the game when we get down to the sea. We'll be able to fit in the American football stadium, our varsity sports building. First off, I think we're gonna fill in this square with a little bit of commercial. That square we missed last time. It looks like to fit our American football stadium in, we're going to have to delete a road. That's okay, we anticipated that. Can maybe move the power station over a little bit. Give us the most room possible. Yeah, that's going to fit nice in here. That's all our varsity sports buildings popped in. Those are the things taking up the room. Can maybe get this renamed. We'll call it the Eagle's Nest. I'm sure our Eagles teams will appreciate that. Up the budget a little bit. Stay on top of our power needs, as always. Seems to have sorted it out. So we've still got needs for more commercial and more industrial. We can fill this need for industrial with offices in this square. Then when we expand our city further out, we can maybe look at some of the industry-specific DLC stuff. We'll get some more small roads in to complete our zoning over here. Looks like we need to delete a few underground power cables. We're still connected up the top, so we can get rid of these out the way. Get rid of this one down here next to the high school. We'll get ourselves covered with water in this little extra strip that we hadn't planned on building. We'll just sort of get zoning according to our needs. Get more buildings popped in, get the population up on the way to the next milestone. Where we're doing our roads in this square, we can make it slightly looser so we're not trying to fill absolutely every square. If we leave a little gap in between some of the roads in these boxes, we can put in some bigger buildings like high schools. If we extend this road network around the top, we can maybe get another cargo train terminal in. That's going to help us. If we want to focus on building offices in this square instead of industrial, we're going to need to get our goods in for our commercial premises somehow, so we'll do it by train. Get this area covered with water. Then we can start popping in more offices. We'll try and soak up all this industrial need with these offices. We'll see how far we go. Connecting the train tracks, not quite perfect again. Looks like it's going to let us pop it in here, so we'll take it while we can. Come out by one, try and go up, and then see if we can get connected. Oh, a lot easier on this side. If only all the train connections were so easy. We'll get more offices filled in. Perhaps we want to do this entire area with offices. We need fire coverage. Maybe look at getting some police station in opposite as well. Yeah, police station in here. Keeps everyone covered up this end of the map. We can pop in our Cryopreservatory here. This is from the modder packs, like our medical laboratory. I'm going to leave that little square we've got. I don't think an office of one square is going to be much use. We can get the rest of this zoned in with offices. Get a park in here to get this area covered. Hopefully that's going to help carry the power across as well. Maybe do water covering this whole block up to where we've got it previous. Get it all connected. Build in afterwards. Now we're going to pop in a few metro stations so we can extend our metro network, making sure that we can come around the underground train line at the top. Maybe make a lower and an upper, or we could split it into four. If we get two stations, one either side of the underground train network, we we can divide our square up into 4 smaller loops. We'll need another one up the top here, so I'll have to extend the roads out. We'll get some roads built in here, and then we can place another station, so we can form a loop around the top. Might leave that space for something noisy. Leave a little bit of open ground here. We might be able to put in our football stadium or our festival area for our music. So we'll get a few of these connected up. Still need to make a few more connections so the trains can go both ways. We'll get power hooked up with the game paused because these red icons are stressing me out. Make sure all the stations are hooked up with our underground power lines. Once we get buildings in, we can obviously remove these afterwards. Try and get them out of the way for just now. Continue expanding our water pipe network out. Maybe pop a unique building in here, since we've got so many noise blocking buildings anyway. Maybe pop in the Statue of Industry. That's our first level 1 unique building. We should probably start down at the bottom of the unique building tree. So we've got a few more at level 1 that we can find places for. Bird and Bee Haven, I want to pop that in because I've never popped it in before. It's a new one to me. Don't know if that's come with the new Sunset Harbour or if I've just missed it previously with a different DLC. Definitely want to get that popped in at some point. Gets our pathways hooked up before we do the most of our zoning. It's easier than zoning in and having to destroy people's houses and commercial buildings and things with paths. I don't think we want that one covered, so we can pop in a path in its place, get that replaced. Get these up and over connections, trying to connect the smaller streets within the 2 blocks. And paths just up to the main road, they can cross over at those zebra crossings. Looks like we've run out of money with all our infrastructure expansion, so we're going to get the game running again, build back up some cash. Looks like we're making plenty of money, so I don't think we're going to need a real money generator for a while, unless things get dire. So we'll keep zoning according to our needs. Get this replaced with offices, I think. Don't think we need that light commercial tucked in there. Get this road popped in like we did before to maximise the squares we've got, so we can fit in a little bit more. We might want to get in an IT cluster. We can make a zone here. If we look along our tabs, we can click on IT cluster here and define Robin Park as an IT cluster. Basically builds taller office buildings. Makes your skyline a bit more unique. Tall and interesting buildings. I think it does generate a little bit of noise, so I'm going to swap that residential we've got for commercial and try and create a sort of barrier of commercial here, right up against Robin Park. Now we can keep our residential further back along these main roads. Get some garbage incinerators popped in. Smaller spaces while we can. We want these kind of evenly spread out, so the garbage trucks don't have too far to drive. If we move a few of the smaller buildings around within our university area to some of these little gaps we've got around the stadiums, we've got room to fit in a couple more dormitories for students to stay in and increase our capacity a little bit. Our report is through. We've gained some students, we've gained in academic work, we're on the way to greatness. So we'll pop in a few more buildings as we can. Just rearrange things a little bit. So we've got room for a couple more dorms. Increase capacity. Should be no excuse now for the young people of Turbine City. Plenty of places for them to stay at the university. Got some cash now, so we can finish off our network of tunnels and get our lines set up, going clockwise and anti-clockwise. Have a look at our policies. Might want to turn a few of these on now that we're making decent money. We always want smoke detector distribution, that cuts down the fires. Recycling. Maybe we want a few of these as well. We could have recycled plastic. Free Wi-Fi and automated sorting, they take the pressure off the post office system. And then in city planning, we want the high-tech housing. We definitely want to encourage biking to get people to use our paths. We can do filter industrial waste. That'll help us with ground pollution. I think that's all we need for just now. Maybe come back and turn on a few later on down the line. But those are the basic ones I would want on now that we were making a decent money. Looks like our money's only going up, so should be able to afford whatever we need now. I've realised the icon down the bottom tells us where the next marker is, how much population we need to reach to become a colossal city. I've been playing so long without the milestones on that I forgot that button existed. For our stadiums, we can turn on come one, come all. That gives us free transport to the stadiums on the day there's matches, and that helps encourage people to come along and watch. It looks like turning on the policy on one stadium turns it on for all of them. And that's fine, that's exactly what we want. We're going to keep zoning in. Get some more offices in. Because our need is still pretty high for industrial. Continue our road network so we can get our zoning in. Perhaps these two squares we've got down here, we can put parks in. If we surround them with a bit more noise blocking offices, maybe a little bit of commercial. And these two squares we've got in here we could make custom parks out of. Get another incinerator in here. Fill in this little gap. We'll make a path along the back of the offices that we can run our fence along, our perimeter fence for our park. Go in, paint an area in. Our first one could be an amusement park. So like we did with our city park, we'll pop in a main gate, that'll unlock all the other buildings. Then we can line up a path to line up our side gates so it's directly opposite and connect it back up. Then we can sort of extend out our area. We could put gates on every which side of the square if we want to. Maybe do the same over here, line up a path, get an entrance in. Where you've got a little cross of paths, I like to put these quarter circle game booths in around so it forms a nice circle around the middle. And then we could just make some random paths just to hold all our rides, all our different buildings, cafes and restrooms. Got a plaza as always. Each of the parks do. Got fairly standard other buildings like cafes and restrooms, souvenir shops, that sort of thing. I believe our first ride is a carousel that we unlock. So once we've got a few of the normal buildings in, we'll get our carousel in. You can decorate, as always. It's got plenty of small decorations you can pop in to help the attractiveness of the park, get people to come in. We'll get the ticket price down to $5. You know, our parks are not for profit, they're for enjoyment. Turn on night tours and fireworks, I think, since it's an exciting amusement park. Across here we can maybe make this a zoo. So much the same. Let's pop in our main gate to unlock everything. Get our side gates in, get a fence around it. Then we can start popping in our paths internally and get enclosures attached. Some of the zoo items attached to the paths, and then some of them are sort of freestanding enclosures like this one, so you can rotate them whichever way you wish, try and fit them into the corners, and then you just connect up paths to them so they have paths attached. got our plaza, standard buildings, same sort of thing, we'll pop in. Just sort of looking for neat little spaces to fit things in. I think the parks, the zoo is the one I think you need the most room for, because the exhibits, the big animal enclosures are quite large. Of course we're going to put on the animal ethics. We don't want fireworks over here because that might scare the animals. We might want to turn off fireworks in our other park now because it is pretty close. We don't want our animals getting scared by the noise of Wonderworld. They're fairly encased here. Might want to double up our offices to double the noise barrier. And get this filled in with the road because we're just going to end up zoning it. I originally started with bigger plans for something else, but I think we'll just keep zoning. Still got another 5,000 people to fit in. We are approaching the edge of our second square in terms of zoning. So we're going to get the simulation going again. Knock the power up a little bit, as always, and let it fly. Looks like Wonderworld's leveled up fairly swiftly. So we can go in, see what we've unlocked. Got the piggy train, we'll get that popped in. Our academic year reports through again, but we have lost a few students. We've not made it any further. We've not gone any further back. We've not become unrecognised, but we're no further forward. Hopefully next time. We'll get our piggy train in here. Got another ride unlocked to us, teacups. We can pop that in somewhere. Not far behind it, our zoo. So these seem to be leveling up at the same time, so they've probably got equal numbers of visitors. We're certainly catching up on our city park, hospital park, pretty quickly. We'll try and get the things we've unlocked tucked in, nice and neat. Like I say, you want to use all the space you've got available in a zoo. Often need to rearrange things to try and fit in some of the bigger exhibits. Get a few of the smaller things popped along the back. And you see you can pop them along the edge of the enclosures themselves if they have built-in paths. I'm going to zone along here. We'll get offices next to the highway. Fill in a mix of things in here for a bit of variety. Have a little bit of everything in here. Get some death care in. A crematorium right next door. Freezer emptying. Get a pool up the top next to the metro station. Maybe elder care. And every good elder care deserves child care. Pop that in as well. And we can zone away from this a little bit. I'm going to double up our offices along here. Reinforce that barrier. We still do have a tremendous need for industry. Obviously where we're popping in these extra shops, they want goods. So we're relying pretty heavily on our cargo stations. Our education needs are massive, so we're going to use some of these bigger spaces that we've left to fit in our schools. Hopefully that's going to meet our needs. We want to sort of space them out, but we are running out of space. Going to have to go on the outside of our boxes to pop in another couple of high schools. As long as we leave room for the roads to keep coming out, we'll be alright. We want to maximise the amount of eligible students to go to our university, get it full up. So we need enough capacity in our elementary and high schools to give them the prerequisite education first. Of course, where we've made a whole bunch of new roads, we need to go through, turn off all the traffic lights. Get this area expanded out, and get our little school moved across. That way we can fit in a park here. Make these guys happy, and then continue zoning on. Once we've got the bigger roads done, it's nice and easy to sort of fill in the insides. We've almost used up the entire second square. Try and get to this next milestone. Still got another couple of thousand people to fit in. I reckon this residential is far enough away from these parks now. Last little bit of water that we've missed. We'll get another sewage pipe in, just because our treatment level is starting to fall into the dangerous level. Got a fire going on. Zoom in and check this out. See the response time. Oh, here they come around the corner. Yeah, response time doesn't seem that bad. Whenever I spot a fire, I like to go and check it out. Looks like Wonder World's level 3. It's caught all the way up with our city park. So I'm going to pop in our new things that we've unlocked. That'll make it more appealing to the visitors. And that in turn helps it level up, so we can unlock more stuff, get it up to 5 stars. Get a few small buildings popped in. And like before, our zoo is right behind it. We're so close, we're only 300 people away, but hey, let's work on the zoo a little bit. Let's get the game paused. Looks like the elephant enclosure is going to be too big. And get the flamingos in here. Get this connected up with a path. We can try and rearrange things, see if we can fit the elephants in. I think no matter which configuration I use, I'm not getting them in here. We'll have to make a second zoo. We'll give it more space. We'll give it plenty of room. We'll defo fit elephants in. We'll do that in the squares to come. We'll come back to it. I'm pretty sure the zoo will be able to keep leveling up without the elephants in it. Just using what it's got, I think it'll be fine. And we've made it to Colossal City. So our last 2 things we've unlocked are for the seaside. They're still quite some way off. Nuclear power plant, we're never going to use that. We want to stick to green energy. Our floating cafe is something we can pop along the river. We'll come back and look at all that next time. We'll probably want a 3rd square unlocked as well. So we'll have lots to do. Throughout the build, I was capturing some nice cinematic camera shots. So I'll leave you with these. Until I see you next time, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.